Hey guys, so this week, I believe it was last week, I mentioned how my ADHD is sucking wind. So I decided this week we're going to talk about what does that look like in the writing process. So when you have ADHD, your mind goes 100 miles a minute. I will say that we are a very creative bunch of people, and because of that, I tend to work on multiple big books at once. However, that's before I had my kid. So before I had my kid and I had all this ample amount of energy, I was working on multiple books at once. And it was very hectic. I'm not going to lie about that. And I will go more into that next week on what it looks like to write a series and what you should and should not do when writing one. Just taking it from my experience. So sometimes I would go on to one book and I would stay on it for a few months, and I would dabble with some other books here and there, and then I would completely not touch those two books for like a while, and then I'd pick up another book and work on it for a little while. So I'd kind of go back and forth quite a bit, and that was just kind of like the ADHD creativity. There was times where I would let a book sit for almost a year before I would get inspiration again to keep going with it. So again, it was a little bit of chaos. In fact, some people are like, I can't even write like multiple books at once. How do you do it? Honestly, I really don't know how I did it. I think my ADHD did it for me, if I'm being completely honest. Like, I'm pretty sure it did it for me. Because I don't think I would have done it had I not had ADHD. Yeah. But you know, again, you get all these creative juices going and that kind of thing. If you're writing multiple books at once, kudos, good for you. Try to keep track of it all, I tell you. Sometimes I could be like driving the car, like, you know, just driving. I could be like at the gym and inspiration would just hit me. And at that point, it's not like I can just get on my laptop and start writing. So I would always use the notes section of my iPhone and I would write down like different ideas. Sometimes I would think of complete scenes, like complete legit chapters, like just driving the car or going to the grocery store or some random thing, right, that we do every day. So from there, I would get on my notes section and I would just start writing. Now, obviously, if I'm driving the car, I can't really type and drive. That's not really a good thing to do. So I would do like a talk to text. Now, obviously, talk to text is not that great, but I would do talk to text. And then from there, I would go back like when I was actually like out of the car and I would like fix the mistakes that it messed up on, right? So you could do it that way if you have that. I know that the only time that writing multiple books became a hassle for me, that was writing my Mafia series. And again, I'll go more into that on next week's little episode. But when you're I've noticed though, like personally for me, when I'm writing multiple books that are different from each other and they're not at all related, it's not hard to keep track. It's only when I'm writing the series that it becomes the problem and I have to like kind of go back and look at stuff. But again, I'll go more in depth on that next week. So yeah, it can be chaotic. And sometimes you might think of a great scene that does not fit like a book that you're currently working on. It's okay to start a new one. It's okay to just start it and let it sit. That's okay. I have a lot of books in my storage. I call it my storage. There's a lot of books in there that have not even gone to editing. They've not even gone to beta readers either. They're just sitting there because, well, one, I'm still working on one series and I have a thing where it's like, I'm not going to like put a lot of time into one set of books when they're not done yet. So until my series is done, those other ones are just really going to sit in there. And yeah, they're just going to sit in there for a little bit, which is fine. I mean, some of them I've been sitting on for 3 years. Some of them I've been sitting on for 4 and nobody's ever seen them but me. Yeah. Eventually they will be published, I promise. But they're standalones. Well, one of them's not. One of them's like a duet. But that's like a whole other story that for another time. But all the other ones are standalones that are just sitting there. And again, like I said, it's okay to start on multiple books at once. If an idea comes to you, an idea comes to you. I will say that if you do not write it down, there's a high chance you're going to forget it. I suggest writing it down even if you're not going to use it for a long time. That's just my idea. Just put it in the notes section of your iPhone, maybe put it on a Google Drive thing or whatever, and just run with it. Okay? Creativity does not have a timeline, nor does it tell you when it's coming. So you have to be prepared for that. Okay? So that's my PSA. Take every creative moment and run with it. And I'll see you guys next week for series information and how that looks.